Hey everybody, today we are doing section 1-3, conversions. So units are really important for math, science, engineering. It helps us know whether or not we need something that's 5 inches or 5 feet. Huge difference. They are how we decide on what constitutes 1 gallon, 1 pound, etc. We often need to convert from one unit to the other in practical problems. So we can usually use a proportion for reasoning to do the job. So you are mixing some concrete for home. You've calculated according to the directions that you need 6 gallons of water for your mix. But your bucket isn't calibrated, so you don't know how much it holds. On the other hand, you just finished a 2-liter bottle of soda. If you use the bottle to measure your water, how many times do you need to fill it? And they gave us the conversion here that 1 gallon equals 3.785 liters. So if we know we need 6 gallons, we're going to multiply by the conversion factor, which is 3.785 liters is 1 gallon. So when we multiply, we can divide out the units, gallons and gallons. So if we multiply 6 times 3.785, that tells us that we need 22.71 liters. And we know that our bottle is 2 liters. So again, we multiply one bottle over 2 liters, and we need to fill it 11.355 times. So that would be difficult perhaps to do the 0.355, but concrete doesn't always need to be exact. Exercise 1. So reminder with videos, you can pause, rewind, watch again. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to pause. We're going to do this example together, but then for number 2, I want you to pause, give it a try, and then watch. So John has traveled 4.5 miles. There's 5,280 feet in a mile. How many feet did John travel? So we know he went 4.5 miles. And then we have our conversion factor that 5,280 feet, 1 mile. We want to multiply so that the unit we already have divides out. So since miles is in our numerator, I'm going to put 1 mile in the denominator and 5,280 feet in our numerator. Our miles divide out, so then we multiply across. So 4.5 times 5,280 is, I multiplied wrong on my calculator, sorry about that, is 23,760 feet. Okay, so you pause, try number 2, and come back. Number 2, if there are 2.54 centimeters in an inch, how many centimeters are in 1 foot? Show the work that leads to our answer. Well, we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I can start out with 1 foot, and then I'm going to multiply by 1 foot and 12 inches as a factor. The feet go in the denominator so that I can divide those out. Now I have 12 inches, and then I know that there are 2.54 centimeters in an inch. Since inches in my numerator, I want inches in my denominator when I multiply. 2.54 centimeters in my numerator. The inches divide out. I multiply 12 times 2.54, and it's 30.48 inches. Sometimes it's helpful to convert so that it makes more sense. So a bathtub contains 14.5 cubic feet of water. If the water drains out at 4 gallons per minute, then how long will it take to the nearest minute? So rather than, I want to know how many minutes. So I'm going to flip the 4 gallons per minute to be 1 minute per 4 gallons because I want my answer to be how many minutes. So now I need to convert the gallons. So there are 7.5 gallons of water per cubic foot. Actually, I didn't want to flip the 4 gallons per minute. Sorry, I made a mistake. I'm starting with 14.5 cubic feet of water. that's feet cubed. And now I want to convert that to gallons. So I know there are 7.5 gallons in 1 cubic foot. So the cubic foot goes in the denominator. 7.5 gallons goes in the numerator. And I divide out. And that tells me when I multiply how many gallons of water I have, which is 108.75 gallons. Now is when I want to flip that rate. So I want to do 108.75 gallons times 1 minute over 4 gallons. Because if it takes 4 gallons per minute, it's 1 minute per 4 gallons. My gallons divide out. So then that tells me that's 108.75 minutes. And they want it to the nearest minute, so that's 109 minutes. So that's a long time. That's like an hour. Actually, an hour and a half. Exercise 4. The mile and the kilometer are relatively close. You can convert 1 mile into equivalent kilometers. There are 2.54 centimeters in an inch, 5,280 feet in a mile, 100 centimeters in a meter, 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a kilometer. So I know that I have 1 mile. I want to find out how many kilometers that is. Here's my conversion from the English to the metric, 2.5 centimeters in an inch. So I need to get inches, then centimeters, then kilometers. So I'm starting with miles. Well, I know 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So I'm going to put 1 mile in the denominator, feet in the numerator. And now I have feet. Well, I know there are 12 inches per foot. So that means 1 foot goes in the denominator, 12 inches in the numerator. So now I have inches. So now I can convert that 1 inch, since inches in the numerator, inch goes in the denominator, is 2.54 centimeters. Notice all my fractions are equivalent. So now I have centimeters. Well, I know there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So again, centimeters is in my numerator, so they go in my denominator. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Then I know there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So I'm going to do 1,000 meters in the denominator and 1 kilometer in the numerator. Now I multiply. And remember, when I multiply fractions, I multiply all the numerators and all the denominators and then divide. So 5,280 times 12 times 2.54 times 1 gives me 160,934.4. And that's kilometers over, I need to multiply the denominators, which is 1 times 1 times 1 times 100 times 1,000. So 100 times 1,000 gives me 100,000, which means I'm really moving my decimal point 5 places. Which gives me 1.609344 kilometers. Can convert 2 quantities or rates into different units. So again, we're just making it more complicated as we go on here. We have 2 more examples and then our notes are done. So is from speed in feet per second to speed in miles per hour. Sometimes we think better in miles per hour because that's how we drive. So convert speed of 45 miles per hour into feet per second. So I have 45 miles in 1 hour. And it's my choice whether I convert miles or hours first. So I'm going to do hours. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. I'm going to put the hours in the numerator. So they divide out with my hours in the denominator. Now I have minutes. I want seconds. So now I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Minutes are currently in my denominator, so I want them in my numerator. So it's 1 minute over 60 seconds. My minutes divide out, and now I have seconds. Perfect. Now I need to make feet. So I have miles way back here in my numerator. So when I multiply, I want miles in my denominator. And I know there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Now I have feet in seconds. So I multiply my numerators. So 45 times 5,280 gives me 237,600. Over 60 times 60 is 3,600. And that's feet per second. But I want to simplify that, so I'm going to do that division. And it's 66 feet per second. The current fastest human is Usain Bolt from Jamaica. In 2009, Usain ran 100 meters in a blazing 32.2 feet per second average speed. How does that compare to the typical car driving speed? So basically what we want to do is we might want to make 32 feet per second, 32.2 feet per second into miles per hour. So we're doing the opposite. So here in my previous example, I converted time first to show you it doesn't matter. I'm going to convert distance first. So I have feet in the numerator, so I want feet in my denominator. So I'm going to do 1 mile over 5,280 feet. And now I have miles. Now I need to make seconds into hours. So I can do like I did before, which is multiply, make it minutes, then make it seconds. Or perhaps we remember from above that 3,600 seconds is 1 hour. And I put seconds in the numerator, hours in the denominator, so that my seconds divide out. Now I multiply my numerator, so 32.2 times 3,600 gives me 115,920 over 5,280. And then I'm going to divide that. And my answer is 21.954545, repeating miles per hour. So Usain Bolt would run faster than you're supposed to drive in front of the school. Exercise 6. So try to pause this one, give it a go, and then come back. Local factory has to add liquid ingredients to make their product of a rate of 13 quarts every 5 minutes. How many gallons per hour of the ingredient do they need to add? So we have 13 quarts every 5 minutes. So again, it's our choice. Do we convert quarts or minutes first? I'm going to convert quarts. Quarts, the name should give it away that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. I want my quarts in the denominator, so it cancels out or divides out with the quarts in the numerator. I now have gallons. I now need to make per hour, so I have minutes. So I know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, and I'm going to put the minutes in the numerator so that they divide out with my minutes in the denominator. Now when I multiply my numerator, so 13 times 60 gives me 780 gallons over 5 times 4, which is 20 hours. I divide that, and it's 39 gallons per hour. So there was our classwork or our notes. Please make sure you fill out your packet, pause, rewind, bring any questions you have to class tomorrow, and then we'll work on the additional practice. Have a great day.